Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Anna McKessie. I'm your host. And for those of you who don't know me, I am someone who channels the angels, the archangels, and the galactics. And today I have a message from Archangel Gabrielle. But before we start on the message, I wanted to invoke a prayer to protect the space and open our hearts and our minds to the message coming through. So I just want to ask you to take a deep breath with me. Deep inhale, deep exhale. I'm going to ask the angels to be here with us now and to invoke the blood of Christ over this message, over those listening to it. May our hearts and our minds be open to what's coming through. May we be filled with hope and understanding and wisdom and eradicating any fear or anxiety about what's to come, trusting in everything that is happening and that is about to happen. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. So today's message has to do with the divine or global reset that's coming. It's both divine and global. It's divinely orchestrated, which is why we don't need to have fear around it. It will be uncomfortable to live through, but it won't last very long. So what I'm talking about is a 28 or 24, sorry, to 48-hour power grid blackout where we lose power for a day or two. And then after that, when the power comes back on, the internet will not come back on. So we'll have no internet for about a week, is what I'm hearing. And that can create a lot of panic, right? But we don't want to panic. We want to stay grounded. We want to stay holding that highest vibration, understanding that this is ultimately for our betterment and for the highest good and the highest good of the collective. There's a lot of negative energy attached to our internet. Now, there's no surprise. Everyone knows this, right? There's the dark net. There's people using the internet for inappropriate things or for crimes, to commit crimes, to hurt children. I mean, all kinds of things. So it's not a surprise that the angels are saying it's time for a divine reset of the internet. Okay. This is going hand in hand with the ascension process that we've been going through as a species. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll see I talk quite a bit about ascension because we're in the ascension process right now. And we're evolving as a species and we're growing and our vibrations are increasing. We're going into a higher vibration to a 5D reality versus 3D. So, with all of this, there's going to be a karmic clearing. There's going to be a cosmic clearing, a divine clearing of negative energies. And so that's what this is all about. So, how do we prepare? Well, first of all, the best thing to do is to prepare your heart and your mind by really staying in prayer, by meditating. I've been talking about how important meditation is. It will become a critical skill going forward into new earth, into the new timeline. Once we're through the ascension process, I can't express how important meditation will be. So if you can just find a few minutes a day to just find some stillness and connect inward, that's super, super important. So those are the primary things, right? To stay grounded, to stay rooted, to connect to nature, to go inward, to find peace within, because we'll have chaos all around us. Okay. And it's important that we stay in a higher vibration. Obviously, we need to get through this, right? So we want to have enough food. We want to have enough water. If we take medications, we want to have enough medication to get us through at least a week of potential not access to these things. Okay. We want to prepare properly so that when the time comes, we're even less panicked because we have properly prepared, right? So, food, water, medication. If you have pets, you want to have food for your pets ready. I'm looking into getting a battery powered cell phone charger because I realized that I probably will want to communicate with people. And while we have the 24 to 48 hours of no power, I won't be able to power up my phone. So, that's something I'd like to have. And I invite you to consider that as well. Or just anything that you think would help you to get through this time. Having cash on hand is really important. We're not going to be able to use our debit or credit cards. And so we're going to want to have a couple $100 if possible, whatever you can stow away and get to know your neighbors. This is a good time to get to know your neighbors because it's in these sort of situations that we really want to come together in our local communities. And that's something the angels really encourage us to do because as we move forward through the ascension process and as we move into the newer timeline, the higher timeline, a lot will revolve around local community support and people really helping each other, neighbors helping neighbors. This is intentional. This is something that is to bring us closer together as a race, to have us really forming communities and helping each other. Okay. So this is part of the divine plan. This is part of what the future looks like. And so we might as well start now, right? And so part of what this reset will do will sort of force us to really reach out to our neighbors and see how we can help each other. Okay. So all of this, again, is for the highest good and will ultimately be for our betterment, but it'll be like COVID, right? It would be something we have to just get through. And undoubtedly, when it's over, we will have groups coming forward claiming to have the solution for if it were to happen again. And that's where we really have to use our discernment, because this is where we see a lot of false prophets coming forward claiming that if you just follow them, you'll always be safe and you never have to worry and that kind of thing. So that's something we fully expect to happen in the aftermath of this. But what we can do now is to prepare for it and spread the word to other people. Now, clearly, a lot of people are not going to listen to this message or pay any heed to it because they're going to say, oh, this is just fear mongering or conspiracy theory or whatever. And I'm sure maybe some of you are even feeling that way right now. But what harm can it cause to just have these things on hand, right? Have some food, have some water, have some cash. If it doesn't happen, if I'm wrong, right, then no big deal. But why not? Like, why not have those materials on hand just in case? Okay, so take this information for however it lands for you, but it is something that I was prompted to share. And it's something that actually the angels talked about even a couple of years ago. So I'm not that surprised. A global reset, a global power grid disruption, and internet disruption, something they mentioned years ago that was going to happen. And so now we're in that time. And not surprising, again, because of all the many energetic changes that are happening. There's been a lot of talk about the 3I Atlas asteroid and the codes that that asteroid has been emitting to our sun and to us, and how it's really upgrading a lot of humans. It's really bringing us online. It's bringing our so-called junk DNA online so that we're able to really be the human we're meant to be, embrace the gifts and the talents that we've had that have been dormant. So all of this is happening. There's a grand awakening going on. There's a revival movement of people going back to God, back to spirituality. So it's not that surprising that we're now at the point where there's going to be a global reset of the power grid and of the internet. So that's the message for today. Wasn't expecting to have to share this message, and it's not wonderful to think about having to live through, but at the same time, it's important that we get ready for it and that we realize that it's really just an inconvenience. Nobody's going to be in danger, especially if we prepare properly and we just don't panic. That's the main thing. And we don't allow fear to take over. That's really super, super important. Okay, so I hope you have a blessed day. And thanks again for tuning in. You can expect more messages like this in the future, channeling messages from the angels and, like I said, the galactics as well. Take care.